Hey, welcome to Gracie Schwartzwald. I'm here with Erkan Mete, and I'm going to go over a question I had. And actually, I had many questions like this, so it's not just this one question, but it's a series of questions I get. And it tends to be from older grapplers who write me, or older Jiu-Jitsu practitioners who write me. And they say that, I've had some say they're thinking about quitting, or that they have a lot of trouble because the style of jiu-jitsu that is practiced or taught at their schools isn't working for them, and they feel like they're getting, crushed by these younger guys, or they can't keep up, or they can't do the techniques they're learning. And they find my website, or they find my, videos, and they hear about the style of jiu-jitsu I teach, and they're interested in it, but they don't know how to apply it or how to learn it. And obviously they can't, they're more than welcome to come train with me, but if you can't make it all the way to southern Germany, how to apply it. And so I haven't written anything out or planned anything. I'm just going to kind of go off the cuff. But, we hear this all the time. And, I have a pressure game, and my jiu-jitsu, our jiu-jitsu is an art of control, right? It's not a submission art. So, you see people come in, and you can tell the difference when we have people visit. Very different style than when the style here. And I'm not saying that style is necessarily wrong, and I teach that style sometimes, but it's a style that works best if you're young and you're very athletic and you're going against somebody else, kind of young and athletic, and you're not worried about a self-defense scenario. So it's more about movement. And I've said before many times, right? You'll hear jiu-jitsu is movement, and you'll hear coaches say, move, 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 move. And I say, good movement is good jiu-jitsu, bad movement is bad jiu-jitsu. And the other thing I say all the time is, if you don't know where you're going to go, you don't know how to get there, don't move, right? People just move because they think that's what jiu-jitsu is. I have to be jumping around and moving and transitioning all the time. The problem is right? If I'm moving, I give you opportunities. If I'm moving without a plan, I give you opportunities. Now, if I'm losing, that's okay, right? If I'm scrambling, I'm trying to cause something. But if I'm dominating, I'm winning. Or, as you'll see, we'll talk about another scenario, I don't want to cause a lot of movement. And that's only going to aid the person who's in an inferior position. Okay, so the first thing you have to understand is how to control movement. It's not about just jump around and try to submit each other, which is, again, the style that's taught so much. So the first thing is, I want to back up. The reason that it's important not to just move without a plan is movement costs energy, right? And again, if you're young and you can spend all your day at the gym working out, and this is your whole life is doing jiu-jitsu, yeah, you can afford, and you compete where it's 5 to 10 minute matches, where you can kind of train yourself to where you can do maximum exertion for 10 minutes. But again, if you're older, you can't do that, certainly against somebody who's in better shape than you are. But this is the reason, for instance, at our academy we don't set timers, right? So you can't just explode for 5 minutes and then get a rest. And you'll often see we have younger guys come in, and what happens when they roll with the older guys? 5 minutes in, they're done.
They're done, yeah.
Right? Because they've been jumping around, and now they're expecting their break. So the first thing we want to talk about is control, right? And I've had people write me and they say, hey, I try to do what you tell me, but my coach yells at me that I got to let the other guy move, and I got to move. And I'm not saying just necessarily pin the guy, although that is a big part of the art. If you can't learn how to pin someone and control someone, then your submissions are always going to be, have to be a lot of luck or speed built into trying to catch them, versus if I can hold you and pin you and really limit your options, I can kind of grind my way to the finish. But the first thing I want to talk about is what happens is, let me go ahead and get you to let's go to combat base, for instance. Let's just assume he's standing, but a lot of times you see this is what's going to happen at a jiu-jitsu school. We're going to be here, playing here, okay? So, and you may be even standing here, and then now you're doing this, and you're breaking grips and trying to pass, and I'm trying to, do all this. And so, one, you're standing, right? So you're going to be faster. Two, here, okay. I want you to break these grips. Okay. Let me have the grip. Okay, just rip it free. All right. That takes a lot of strength to hold you. Also, let me have the grips. Don't break the grips this time, but I want you to move around. right? So I'm trying to play this. Yeah, right? What is the problem? I'm taught to play this long range where I have limited control, right? Do we play at that range if necessarily punches are happening? Where do we get to? Clinch, right? Okay, well, we might play a long range, but we got to play a very far range. But we know that we're maximum control when we have the greater clinch. And so people are taught, I don't know why, but double end of sleeve grips is the go-to grip now, okay? Or maybe a collar grip, okay? The problem is that there's a lot of space there, right? And they're taught to play, feet, de la rivas, things like this, where again, there's a lot of space, okay? I'm always going to be slower than you from the bottom out, aren't I? So space means movement, right? So, and movement, if you can build up speed, I'm going to be jump this way, move. Yeah, so I'm going to be trying now jump the other way. I'm going to be constantly trying to, inverting and stuff. And yeah, if I'm 22, I can invert all the time. So that's where people are having a hard time, right? They're not taught to clinch, okay? So when I come in, right, and I'm playing here, and I'm playing here, and I'm playing here, and now, let's turn this way. Okay. And let's say we're here, right? I go here, and now, go ahead. And now he's trying to pass, and now he's standing up, right? Stand up. Here, right? So I'm not saying you have to play close guard here. For instance, what do we do? Half guard now. I think I've seen people say this is the default half guard, Nicho, because I can keep his weight off me, right? The problem is, how much space is there between us?
There's a lot of space.
Right? So how free are your hands to do things?
Very free.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so again, here. Now, people say this is hard to get. I don't know. I think I get this position all the time. I think it's because people don't train to get it. They go here first, and then they're trying to go here. So we're here. Look. Elbow. I use my elbows a lot. I'm controlling. Now I've got a deep guard. He's trying to move. He's trying to stand up. He's trying to do all that. I can play here. I get on top. And then what do you see?
Yeah.
And then let's say I pass. What happens now? Yeah, look how far away I am.
Yes.
Right? I'm trying to stand to pass and then control. Play. Play. Get your hooks in. Here. Move me around. Yeah. Then I don't do this. Yeah. Move. Right? I'm here. Look at my posture. I'm not doing this. Move. Let's say you roll me. Look how tight I am. Okay, move. Move. Get your hooks in. Get your feet on my hips. Push. Push. Push me away. Push me away. Come back. Posture, play. Escape, get the underhook. Let's move this way. How much am I gripping?
Almost none.
All right, I can grip, yeah, turn. I can grip a little bit, but again, I'm not doing all of this. It's all this space. Now I'm having to move constantly. You got a guy who's got a good guard. Here, nice. Play. Look at the head. Move, push me. Push the arm. Look, it's relaxed. I clear. I clear.
I think you lose microphone.
Oh. So, one thing I would say is, I've talked before about the 4 ranges of guard, right? Which is, get you here. The long range, which is I have at least 1 foot between us. Okay, the mid range, just knees. This could be shield, half guard, butterfly. Close range, that could be closed guard or traditional half guard. Okay, and then the deep ranges, things like S guard and deep half guard. Okay. So many schools now are taught to immediately play the long range, right? Again, you go to combat base, I get my grip, gonna step this leg up. Yeah, you know, we're gonna play here, and I'm hanging on to sleeves, and we're dealing with grip breaks, and we're dealing with fights, and then now he's standing and running around, and I'm trying to play this game, and right? So you're playing at a range that's gonna favor the guy who's more athletic, explosive. Okay, you roll with Sven, we roll with Sven, right? What does he do so much? That freaking overhook, right? And even though he's big and strong, he'll get here, and what happens to the whole game? It just slows all the way down, right? It takes me a long time to pass. Even when I get to half guard, he's got that freaking overhook. It just takes me a long time to pass it. And when he slows it down, he has the time to work towards things. That's really important. I play a lot of butterfly guard because I'm here and I'm close, I'm clinching. And here's the important thing. And again, I've had people write me say, well, I tried this and my coach yelled at me. I don't know what to tell you, but keep working it, or tell your coach, you know, I don't know, I'd like to try this for a while, which is if he backs away or he stands up, I stand up. What is this going to work on now? Yeah, here, takedowns, right? Don't play this game. We start, like I had a guy I knew, and it was very cheesy. Like he would do this all the time. He'd say, hey, let's start on the ground. Then he'd tap hands, and then he'd immediately stand up and try to run around guards. Yep. It was just, you know, it was very embarrassing because he was looking for a way to cheat. And so guys were getting frustrated. I said, look, just stand up. You know he's going to stand up. So down, down. Tap hands. He would stand up. They'd stand up. And then he'd get this sort of confused, pissed off look, and then he'd sit back down, and they'd sit back down, and then he'd stand up. And I took his little trick away. And he didn't have takedowns very well, so he didn't know what to do, right? So stand up. Don't play this game of he's running around. And again, I'm trying to play this game and get my grips, and yeah. If the guy gives you space, stand up. Self-defense 101. Okay, so I play this a lot. I talked about this, I don't know if I talked about this in a video recently. I had somebody come train, and I play what I call kind of a knee tap game. I'll put out a video about this eventually. Where I play a lot of guillotine and tap. He's here, right? I'm going to hit different takedowns. So I was doing this to the person, and they would stand up. They'd train kind of at a traditional sports school, and then I would stand up. They didn't really train takedowns. They were just used to me going to lay down while they run around. So then they would sit down, and then I would pass. And then I'd sit back to play, and then I'd knock them a few times, you know. And then they'd stand up, and then I'd stand up. And they finally said, look, they said, I don't know what to do. And I said, yeah, because I'm not agreeing to your rule set. I'm not agreeing to your style of jiu-jitsu. And once I took you out of your style of jiu-jitsu, you didn't know what to do, right? So don't play at that range. Try to work right into the clinches. Now, a lot of older people, they say, I don't want to do takedowns because I feel like if I go for a single leg or a hip throw, I'm going to hurt something. So try this style of jiu-jitsu takedowns. And we do it a lot here because I think it works great for self-defense. And also, if you're older, it still works. And again, I'll show you why it works for self-defense. You know, and it'll be confusing a lot to people who are used to kind of this game, which is we come in and we play much more of a Greco style, right? I'm here, I'm working snap downs, we're fighting here, here, but a lot of times, what do we play, right? One-on-one, two-on-ones, yeah, here, pull the head down, front headlocks, here, body locks, okay? Not only is that a safer way to do takedowns, right? I can be here, you know, start setting things up, snap downs. It's this, it teaches you to work more from the clinch instead of trying to do throws out here or trying to shoot your low singles. Get used to, especially the front headlock, because if guys are playing that low single game, I'm constantly on the head, working here. Work more of a Greco style. One, you'll get more comfortable with your stand-up. Two, it means that if I'm used to really playing this game, when we go to the ground, look where I'm already at. He tries to back up and stand up. You even start to lift your hips up. Yeah. And look where I am right away. Very important. I don't give him the space. I worked with some people, and I would see this all the time. And I would try to correct them, and not correct them, but explain the problem. Let me have you. They would do a sweep, right? Boom. Let's say, okay, actually, let me do a different sweep. Let me just say I knock you back, right? Just fall back. But spin the guard. And then they would stay here. They would go right into kind of a postured up passing position, right? So let's say like a butterfly sweep. All right, they hit a nice butterfly sweep, and then they would play here. Well, now they've got a pass guard. They're not into the guard. They don't have control. So I say every sweep should have a pass built into it. Every pass should have a control built into it. So let's say I knock him back here. Look where I am right away. There's no space. Here, he starts to try to move. I'm going chest to chest as soon as I can. I'm getting head control as soon as I can. He's blocking my arms. Look, I got head control in my head. Okay? I'm determined to get into pinning even as I go. And this is where your leg work comes in. So if he's got his hooks in or whatever, work your legs. Okay? I'm not doing this. Here, sweeping him. And then here and trying to play all this. And yeah, and then next thing I know, I'm like, okay, I got to sit down for a while, right?
That's what's happening all the time.
Right.
If you have guests.
Yeah, they're exhausted after 5 minutes, yeah. And even like they never looked to learn the control game. So we had a situation the other day. Guy came in, and finally, our student was like, you know what? Go ahead and pass.
Yeah.
Come on. The guy had not learned a real style of control, so my student realized, okay, I can just escape this pretty quickly, right? Yeah. So I got to get a better tape, but this is just an experiment. Okay, so hopefully that'll help. Play in the clinch ranges. That could be the closed ranges or the mid ranges. And again, if I'm playing mid range, let's say a knee shield, I don't like to play here. Put your knee down. Here, right? I'm really going to try to play maybe overhooks, head controls. I don't like to stay out here. Yeah, here. So I would say try to roll for a while without using your grips. Overhook. Or if you're going to use your grips, I'm going to use my grips. Here, right? Here, here, here. Anything that keeps him closer to me and allows me to control his shoulders. But anyway, so I talk about controlling 4 things in every conflict to my students all the time. Distance, angle, timing, pace. Okay, work on really dictating the distance you play the guard at or you play passing at. Change the distance. And then work at the pace, meaning what happens is people go fast and we try to go fast. we maybe don't even want to, but we find ourselves getting drawn into using whatever they're using. They're using power, we try to use power. They use speed, we try to use speed. Try to make it to where you're not trying to outpace them, that you're trying to slow them down. And I know that that's, obviously much easier said than done, but it's a lot easier when I entangle them, right? Rubber guard is great for that, but obviously if you're older, kind of a rubber guard kind of situation can be very difficult. But still practice overhooks, underhooks, collar ties, any of these things that can slow the person down. One of the things I see is people get to close guard and they immediately open. Right? Why? You just took the control you had over the person and you just opened. Mostly because my coach says to open because I got to make something happen. Well, yeah, what you're making happen is you're giving the guy the ability to now move. Okay. So, practice closing these guards, clinching, and, if the coach gets side control, hold it, get mount, hold it. If the coach yells at you, I don't know what to tell you. But again, movement, if I'm dominating, and I don't have to necessarily be top position. If I'm here, and I have, like our valley to the guard press, I have this. Who do you feel like is dominating this position?
You are dominating.
Right, so I don't need to immediately open and start attacking. I can control and see what sort of mistakes. You'll be surprised how many mistakes that people will make. He'll pull that arm away. Yeah. And even good guys, right? I always say black belts make the same mistakes white belts do. You just have to put them under pressure. Right? And so I have a lot of people that make dumb mistakes and they know better. But it's the frustration of they can't deal with the control. Again, from bottom or top. Right? So, a lot of when I'm escaping controls, I'm here. Look, I'm not just doing this because can you run around to the other side?
Yes.
Go ahead. Right, you can run around to the other side. Then I got to play here. Come back. Okay. This is the wrong thing to do, but everybody says, but go ahead and run to the other side. Switch to Kesa. Mount me. Go ahead. You try to mount. Go ahead. Okay. But I'm not going to play under and just push you up and let you go knee on belly, run around, do all that. And it feels like you're on top, but you don't have the control.
That's right.
All right. Okay, so play with that. Hopefully that helps. And of course, if you ever want to visit the Black Forest, you can come train here and get some ideas about this in person. Thank you guys, and thank you, Erkan.